Okay, this video shows you how to graph ellipses. So there's two different kinds of ellipses. There's a horizontal one and there's a vertical one. The horizontal ellipse looks like this. In an ellipse, we have the center, and then there's always going to be two axes. One will be longer than the other, and that one is called the major axis. The other one is going to be shorter, and that one is called the minor axis. Okay. Now, attached to the major axis, you have 2 points where they meet up, and these are vertices. So we have a vertex here and a vertex here. The 2 points where the minor axis touches the ellipse are vertices too, but to distinguish them, the ones that touch the smaller one, or the minor axis, are called co-vertices. So we have a co-vertex here and a co-vertex over here. So in these equations, very similar to many others that we've had before, the center can be found by looking for the point HK. So whatever is added or subtracted to X and Y. Oh, this is a typo. It should be Y. Okay. Anyway, a vertical ellipse is going to look the exact same way, except in that one it's going up and down, and so now the major one is vertical instead of horizontal. Now the equations look virtually the same, but what's different is the A and B are flipped. But the A and B are going to be numbers, so how would you know which one is which? And you're not going to. That's irrelevant. But what you need to remember is that A and B cannot be equal no matter what. Okay? They have to be different. So, for it to be an ellipse. So to be an ellipse, it's got to have the plus sign here in the middle. It's got to have a positive one out to the right, and A and B cannot be the same. And if you have those three things, then you're going to have an ellipse. All right, so let's practice graphing this. So on number 1, there's nothing added or subtracted from the y, so the center is 0, 0. So the first point you're going to plot is 0, 0. The number under the x, right here, the 9, is going to help us control how much we need to go right and left. But this number is our a or b squared. So to just get a or b, we have to take the square root of 9, which is 3. So we're going to go to the right 3 and to the left 3, because this one controls our x. For our y, we're looking at the number that's under the y, and that's 25, and that's our a or b squared. So I'm going to take the square root of that, and we get 5, and that's going to control what we do on the y. So we're going to go up 5 and down 5, and then we can connect the points and create our ellipse. Now, the vertices, there's two different pairs. There's the vertices and the co-vertices. The co-vertices have to go with the major axis, the one that is longer. So it's longer up and down. So the top and bottom are the vertices. So my vertices would be 0, 5 and 0, negative 5. For my co-vertices, they match up with the shorter axis. Okay, and so those 2 points would be negative 3, 0 and positive 3, 0. And that's it. All right, let's try this again for number 2. There's nothing or added subtracted to the y, so the center is just 0, 0. So we're going to start at the 0. The number under the x controls the x values. So the square root of 36 is 6. And that's how much we're going to go on the x. So 6 to the right and 6 to the left. Under the y, we have 4, and the square root of 4 is 2. So that's going to control how much we go up on the y, up or down. Connect your 4 points, and there's your ellipse. Now remember, the vertices are on the major axis, the longer one. So it's not always the top and the bottom, it's on the longer one. So the one on the left is negative 6, 0, and on the right is positive 6, 0. The co-vertices are the one that's on the shorter axis, which in this case is up and down, and that is going to be 0, 2, and 0, negative 2. Okay, let's try it again when the center is not 0, 0. On this time, it's the opposite of what's in the parentheses, so it's going to be positive 3, negative 2. So I'm going to go to positive 3, negative 2, which is right here. And now I'm going to find the points, because under the x is the 4, and the square root of 4 is 2. So for the x, I'm going to go right and left 2. For the y, under the y is the 9. The square root of 9 is 3, so I'm going to go up and down 3. And then I'm going to make my ellipse. The vertices are on the major one, the longer one, which in this case is up and down, and that point would be 3, 1, and 3, negative 5. The co-vertices are on the minor axis, the one that's shorter, and that would be 1, negative 2, and 5, negative 2. Okay, this one's very similar. On number 5, the center is going to be negative 1, positive 2. So we're going to go to negative 1, positive 2. Under the x is the 36. That's going to control how much we move right and left. So I'm going to go the square root of 36, which is 6, and go over here and make a point, and then go over and make a point. The square root of 16 is 4, so that's going to be up and down 4. And then I can connect my points and make an ellipse. The vertices are on the major axis, which is longer. So in this case, it's the left and the right. So I have negative 7, 2, and 5, 2. The co-vertices are on the minor axis, the one that's shorter. So that's going to be at negative 1, 6. And then again at negative 1, 2. The order in which you write the vertices is not important. Okay, number 6, last one. So the center is negative 4, negative 2. That's not that hard to see. But what gets confusing is this x thing. So let's look at the y. We know the y, square root of 49 is 7, so that's going to control our y. So we're going to go up and down 7. Here's 7. And here's 7. Okay, that's not that big of a deal. But what is under this x plus 4? And a lot of people want to say 0. But remember, you cannot do some number over 0. That doesn't work. You can't have 0 in the denominator. And when we have something that's a whole number and we want to make it a fraction, we always put it over 1. So the number under the first part is 1, and the square root of 1 is 1. And that's how we're going to move on the x. So we're going to go over 1 and left 1, and we're going to make a really skinny ellipse. My vertices are on the major axis, the longer one, which would be negative 4, 5, and negative 4, negative 9. The co-vertices are on the minor axis, which would be negative 5, negative 2, and negative 3, negative 2. And that's it.